Folks, we're here from the Audubon Little League Complex, getting a later start than we wanted to, but we had some tech issues and couldn't get the broadcast started until right now. It's the Collingswood Panthers and the Audubon Green Wave facing off in the third game that Audubon's played in as many days. They're 2-0 so far. They look to improve their record to 3-0. Up here in the booth, I'm Dan Wilkins as the play-by-play broadcaster, along with Dominic Perry, our producer. Emily Bobo is the starter. Last time out, she did exceptionally well. 12 strikeouts and holding St. Joseph's Hamilton to only 1 run in a 5-1 win over the Wildcats. On Tuesday, yesterday, as the baseball team opened up their season, so did the Green Wave on the road, as the Audubon Green Wave Softball Club defeated the Gloucester Lions by a score of 6-2 with Elena Copsetta on the mound. We'll take a really quick look at the Collingswood and Audubon lineups, considering that we previewed them, but the live stream ended before we were able to actually read them off. So the first batter will be Alexis Randazzo, followed by Madeline Gola in right field, Piper Wright on the mound batting third, Joe Logren behind the plate batting fourth, Chloe Wright at third base batting fifth, Kendall Justice in center field batting sixth, Emma McGee batting seventh at second base, Juliana Martinson at first base batting eighth, and Carly Hoover as the designated player in the ninth spot. The flex hitter is Avery Castle. First pitch is upstairs, and it's 1-0. We're underway from Audubon. There's a strike. 1-1. Randazzo just had 2 at-bats last year. 1-1. Showing bunt doesn't go, and it's 1-2. Again, the first 3 here in the top of the first will be Randazzo, Gola, and Wright. Although there are 2 Wrights in the lineup, so consider that to be Piper Wright and Chloe Wright. Oh my God, my knee just slammed into the table. It's eyeing away, 2-2. We drop anything? Oh, well, we'll get that. We'll get that at the end of the inning. 2-2 to Randazzo. And I guess she'll. Okay, I guess we had the count wrong. I guess she'll take ball 4. So a walk to Randazzo. I've found that keeping a count in softball is a lot more difficult than keeping a count in baseball. Here's Madeline Gola. 52 at-bats for the sophomore last year, or rather the sophomore this year, class of 25, showing bunt. It'll go to the third baseman, Yerkaba, and throw to first within time, and now catching off the second base is Randazzo, but she gets back in by the skin of her teeth. And there's 1 away. So keeping things calm, cool, and collected so far. So a walk to Randazzo and a fielder's choice, I guess you could say just a ground out. 5-3. First pitch of the ball. There's a strike. 1-1. Randazzo on second for the Panthers. It's Piper Wright at the dish. 68 at-bats. Sophomore this year. 5 extra base hits, 20 for 68, a 368 average, 827 OPS. That one's lifted in left field. That's a base hit. It'll be thrown in, and Collingswood's got a run. 1-0 right off the bat. So while Bobo had a much easier time versus St. Joe's, it seems like this may be a different case today, as an RBI single by Piper Wright makes it 1-0. And keep in mind, in the first game of the season for Collingswood, they lost 13-1 to the Haddon Heights Garnet. So maybe this is just a rocky start, and they'll be able to fix things in the later innings of the game. So it's a swing and a miss. Joe Logren. So Randazzo came around to score on that RBI single. And a runner on first with a fly ball popped up. And it is dropped by Calhoun. Throw down to second is not in time. So just a miscued fly ball and left, and Audubon's now got their back against the wall quite quickly and quite surprisingly, as here is Chloe Wright. So Piper Wright now on second base, and Jill Logeren on first with what has to be scored a single, because in typical scoring terms, it's not an error unless the ball either hits the player or the player's glove. If you just completely miss a fly ball, it's usually scorer's discretion, and sometimes it's called an error, but in my case, it has to hit the player's glove for it to be called an error, because you could just lose things in the sun, and things happen. So it's 1-0. Check swing, and called for a strike versus Wright, and it is 1-1. Chloe Wright, 64 at-bats and a .203 batting average. Went 13 for 64 and a swing and a miss. 1-2. Oh my goodness. There was literally so much pollen coming off the trees when the school bell let out at 2:30 that I thought it was snowing. I checked my car and said it was 75 degrees. There's a swing and a miss to right. 2 down. First strikeout for Bobo. But I literally looked at it and I was like, it's 75 degrees. What is this white stuff falling to the ground? And it was all the pollen coming off the trees. And this is the worst time to be a baseball broadcaster outside, is when you have seasonal allergies like I do. It's just like, why can't they play the high school baseball season in the summer? That's not when it's a ball. I joked around a couple times. I said, why can't we play high school baseball in the summer when you know I have pollen allergies in the spring? Swing and a miss, 1-1. Kendall Justice at the dish for Collingswood. If this inning were to continue after her, then Emma McGee would be next. On the outside corner. I was about to say outside, but it is called a strike. Runners on first and second for the Panthers. Downstairs, 2-2. A lot of people around this place taking in the beautiful afternoon. With spotted clouds and a nice gust of wind. There's a swing and a miss. I guess they called it a foul tip or something like that, because it bounced out of the glove of Toll. Two. Here's a pop-up back behind the snack stand in the press box. It's foul. Maybe game is going on behind us. I really hope that there's no home runs, or at least not really long ones. They are going to substitute a runner at first for Collingswood. That is number 35. So a 2-2 count, and because there's 2 outs, Logeren was replaced at first with Zoe Kapika. That one is upstairs. Count runs full. Bobo in some trouble. I know everybody's so excited for spring break, Easter break coming up tomorrow. Good Friday is coming up. Swing and a miss. Bobo sets down 2, but Collingswood gets a run on an RBI single by Jill Logeren. We go to the bottom of the first. Green Wave will get their first chance to hit. We'll go to break. 1-0 Collingswood. Here in the bottom of the first, we have ourselves a 1-0 Collingswood lead. Let's take a look at the lineup real quick for the Green Wave, since we didn't get to do it in the pregame. Emma Spire is in center field batting leadoff. Adriana Di Valerio is in right field batting second. Emily Bobo on the mound batting in the third spot. Allison Kaba batting fourth at the third base position. Ava Griebel is the designated player batting fifth. Abby Toll is behind the plate batting sixth. Angelina Eckert is the shortstop batting seventh. Abby Calhoun is the left fielder batting eighth. And Alexa Canuso is the second baseman batting ninth. As Spire's got to back out of the way for that one. It's 1-0. And to muscle herself out of that one. Spire had a real good day versus St. Joe's. Had herself 2 RBIs. She scored the first run and then drove in the go-ahead run on the infield single. Here's a little fly ball out to left and a looping base hit for Spire, and she continues her run. A run of excellence for the freshman in her first couple of games as a varsity starter. An excellent job so far. And now here's Adriana Di Valerio. The infield is all in. The second baseman is on the grass. Look how far in they are. But that's why. Here comes a throw down to second. It is not in time. Spire with a stolen base. Yeah, that would be McGee up there on the grass. I mean, this is just amazing how close she is. But it's 1-1 the count. Slap one, and it's a foul ball. I was told yesterday about my broadcast that when a player swings like that, it's not like a check swing, it's actually called a slapper. So they're trying to slap the ball on the ground, almost like a tomahawk chop, and because the softball bounces more than a baseball does, I think the fabric or the leather that's also used on the softball is a bit more squishy, if you will. Like you can't really like make a fingerprint on a baseball, but on a softball it feels like the leather's a bit looser. That one's upstairs. Count it full. But yeah, it's interesting to see how, while the fundamentals of the game are very similar, if not the same, as Di Valerio is going to get the first, and Spire just stole third after the walk. So Audubon wasting no time capitalizing on Collingswood here, as back-to-back base runners, a single and a walk, put runners on the corners with nobody out. So here's Bobo. Ball one to Bobo. Here's a fly ball out to right. The wind is blowing out, and it is over the head of the right fielder. Here comes a run in to score, and Audubon has tied the game. Here comes Di Valerio, and the Green Wave take the lead on an RBI triple by Emily Bobo. 2 runs come around, and it's 2-1 Green Wave here in the first. Beautiful piece of hitting by Bobo there to take advantage of the fact that the wind was blowing out to right, so she knew she could get some extra carry on that ball. And here's your Kaba, 2023 senior. First pitch, strike, 0-1. Just got over the head of Gola in right. upstairs, 1-1.
The softball's like strike zone, it's astonishing.
Softball strike zone, I think, is a lot larger than baseball.
It actually is because the ball is larger.
Well, the ball is larger. Yeah, that's a given. I mean,
But
yeah.
you can't really dignify a strike or a ball in softball, really.
Yeah.
In baseball, it's pretty easy.
Yeah, it's easy. But in softball, there's a lot more definition to
yes,
the strike
there
zone.
is. But with softball, I think it's where it finds itself. Against baseball, it's where it crosses.
Right. Yeah, I believe the point of where a strike is to be called, like if you got a wicked curveball, because remember, a lot of the break on softballs would be on the upper hand because you're throwing the ball underhanded. But
Correct.
in baseball, because you're throwing the ball overhand, that break tends to go downwards unless you're a submarine kind of pitcher. Your Caba again gets a piece of it and fouls it back. Count is 2-2. Some in the class of 22 have made their way to the basketball courts. They've seemed to return. I guess the Valley tonight for a little while. Josh Roselle's out there. Cooper Sear, Brian Wolak, John Johnson. It's nice to see them back. Count is full to your Caba. Next up would be Ava Griebel as there's another foul. Again to the chain link fence back there. Now Audubon baseball replaced their chain link fence with netting.
And I think it's beautiful.
I think it is beautiful.
It's amazing.
Well, I had always complained during the baseball games because there was an overhang that was above the. There's another foul ball. Look out, Walnut, and that would be Chestnut Street. Walnut is to our right, Chestnut is to our left, and Sutton Lane runs down the middle. But yeah, I always complained during the baseball games because what if that overhang comes down and foul ball goes up there, baseball comes back down and it's a player. But this is a long
That just hit someone.
yeah. There you go. So again, Audubon baseball plays Haddonfield tomorrow, 4 o'clock in Haddonfield. Again, because of the internet service, if we can't get the game to be broadcast live, we will record it, tape delay it, and it'll be uploaded at the conclusion of the game with live Twitter updates of what's going on at DW Broadcasting. The Caba fly ball center field. That ball is over the head, and it is off the wall. RBI double your Caba, 3-1. What a hit by your Caba. That was less than a couple feet from being a home run. Would have been her first of her senior campaign, and now she stands at second base. That was very close to being a long ball.
Nice piece of hitting.
Very nice piece of hitting. Just got past the center fielder, Kendall Justice, and now here is Ava Griebel. Designated player today, as she was on Monday versus St. Joe's. The first pitch is a strike. Liner foul. Oh, into almost went into the Collingswood dugout, but was blocked. Was deflected by the Collingswood head coach, Rick Pence. Oh, 0-2. As we've had a single, a walk, a triple by Bobo, and she has now scored on that triple, an RBI double by your Caba. She's the only base runner aboard, but all 4 batters have reached base. That one's a ball. This is Collingswood's first game, their last game until after Easter Sunday. They play April 11th, Tuesday, versus Sterling, and then West Deptford on Thursday the 13th, and then Friday, April 14th, is versus Doane Academy.
Where's that at?
I honestly don't know. It's one of those private schools that you don't really hear a lot about for anything other than academics, really. That's ball 4. And your Caba's going to third base. So excellent base running by the Green Wave. They just want to get it out of the way early. They want to get all their momentum going really, really quickly so that possibly, because I believe there still is the same mercy rule in softball. 10 after the fifth. 3-1. Audubon leads Collingswood. All 5 have reached base. Urcava on third, Griebel on first. And the first pitch to Abby Toll, the sophomore, is a hot shot to second. Throw to first on the second for 1, and no throw to first. So fielder's choice for Toll, and Urcava will score, making it 4-1. So Toll reaches first on what will be scored as a 4-6 fielder's choice, bringing up Angelina Eckert, who did not bat in this Monday game versus St. Joe's. She was a pinch runner at some point during the game, but did not have an at-bat during that game.
Might just be the angle. It's a large bat.
That is a large bat. And again, that very well could be the angle, but the first pitch to Eckert is in the dirt, and now going down to second is Toll. She is safe. Got in there again, not by much, but it still counts the same, and she'll move up to second.
The funny thing was, I was actually told that stealing in softball was harder than baseball, but
We've seen a lot of stolen bases in this first inning.
we've seen a lot.
Well, you can't lead off of the base before the pitch is thrown.
Correct.
Mostly
That's why.
Mostly because of the fact that the bases are so darn short. It's only 60 feet from, home to first to second. It's so short that if you got a lead, you basically would have a guaranteed stolen base every time. What a catch by Martinson. Safe at second. A liner to first caught by Juliana Martinson. Eckert is retired. 2 down. This will bring up Abby Calhoun, the 8th batter of the inning for the Green Wave.
The last 2 days, I've seen a lot of stolen bases on softball and baseball.
Yeah.
Yesterday, there was about, I think, 8 or 9.
Well, there were a lot on wild pitches and pass balls for Paulsboro because they had their freshman catcher, Matt Hill. He was in the game.
Yes, he
And,
was.
yeah, and unfortunately his defensive performance kind of hurt Paulsboro a little bit. Same with their left fielder, Logan Sicklesteel. But I think Paulsboro, the fact that they lost 10-0, will have to have them hit the reset button a little bit. Audubon does play them again, though, on May 9th in Paulsboro. By the way, there's a fly ball, slap to center, and what a catch! An incredible catch, sliding there and making the play is the center fielder, Kendall Justice. But the Green Wave get their damage done early. They're up 4-1 after 1. The season, Elena Copsetta started yesterday versus Gloucester, and Bobo is back out again. Remember, the workload in softball is a lot different than it is in baseball. The first batter of the inning will be Emma McGee for the Collingswood Panthers. They trail by 4 here in the second inning. First pitch to McGee. Swinging a pop-up. Out of play towards Chestnut. Watch out, Tommy Quinn. His house is across the street from over here. There's a couple folks I know that live on Chestnut.
Domino's just popped up.
Hey, watch it again!
Most random thing I've ever seen. What? I opened my phone. I thought it was on screen.
You thought you were watching my broadcast.
Yeah, and then I looked at my phone and it said, mix and match Domino's. I'm like, oh?
It's just telling you what you should have for dinner tonight.
I have a hoagie at home. Or my stepmom makes. Which,
Here's the 0-2.
wow.
No offense to your stepmom, but we have to watch some softball.
It's fine.
It's 1-2. 4-1 Audubon over the Collingswood Panthers. 2-0 for the Green Wave this year. They've been off to a hot start after reaching the South Jersey Group 1 finals last year, but losing to Clayton as Bobo has her third. And there is one away. So here's Juliana Martinson. Oh yeah, Ladybug in the booth. Maybe I should bring the microphone up to her and ask for some comments from the Ladybug. I don't know. I don't want to bug her. The 0-1 to Martinson is a fly ball popped up third base side, and nobody can get there. It's a foul ball, and stepping over like Allen Iverson is your Cabo over Eckert. The difference is that both of those girls are on the same team, so never really a huge fan of Allen Iverson. But that is just me. I mean, I know a lot of Philly sports fans probably, they just idolize him, but in my opinion, the whole practice, it's just practice. That didn't really resonate in my head. But he also stopped playing when I was like 6 years old, so he was technically before my time. Martinson strikes out. 4 straight retired by the K for Emily Bobo, and now it will be Carly Hoover. And the stats available for Hoover, but for the previous batter, Martinson, I didn't have anything either, so you'd have to go back to Emma McGee, who was a measly 3 for 34 in 2022, but
Wow.
But you sometimes see some, what I've seen in softball is that there are a lot higher batting averages. It's overall a more offensive-minded sport. It's kind of like, if you remember back in 2019 when Major League Baseball had the juiced baseballs, and like there were home runs being hit like every 10 minutes. This is kind of how it feels to watch softball. Just because there's so much hitting going on, and even a pitcher like Ava Fisher for the St. Joseph's Hamilton Wildcats on Monday, she had 114 innings pitched, but had an ERA of almost 5. So she was still the opening day starter. And guess what? Bobo just struck out the side. She struck out 5, and all of those 5 have been in a row. 4-1 going to the bottom of the second. Four to 1 as Audubon got out to an early start. All 5 of their first base runners reached. Actually, all 6 of their first base runners reached. The only difference was that Abby Toll retired Ava Griebel via a fielder's choice. And the first batter will be Alexa Canuso. The first pitch is a ball, 1-0. Strike. Should be either 2-1 or 1-2. One of the two.
1-1.
1-1? Okay. You can count to 3. I cannot.
If number 13 would move, we would.
I can't really see the batter that well. I had this problem in Gloucester too. Xavier Massey was just standing in front of my camera the entire time, and I couldn't really see the batter. This year when we play in Gloucester, no, Xavier was in center field. But because of the angle where I was at, I was dead set in center field. But I always like to broadcast at somewhat of an angle. I don't like to be directly behind center field for the purpose of the batter being able to see. But Caduceo's got to run to first. Yeah, she stopped and then had to restart. I don't think even the catcher knew that he had to throw to first. The situation was there, but Caduceo's retired, going back to the top of the order on the strikeout. After that is the first strikeout, by the way, by Piper Wright, and this brings up Aspire. Well, the second baseman is now on the grass, no longer hard. Oh, there's many more annoying things in the world. Here's a ground ball, throw to first, not in time. An infield single for Spire, continuing to be on a tear, 2 for 2 today. Somebody's on like a motorbike.
Just have the advantage of this infield. He's come up, but
Look at that. Never really seen anything like that. First pitch to Adriana Di Valerio is a strike. It Spire's 2 for 2. Di Valerio walked in her last time. Going down to second is Spire on a couple hops, not in time. So Spire gets to second base. Another stolen bag. Somebody called a popo. Stealing a lot of bases here today. Di Valerio and then Bobo and Yukebo. Upstairs, Di Valerio getting a running start. Here's a hot shot, chopper foul. Yeah, Green Wave have an easy peasy schedule for the rest of the week. They got a half day tomorrow, but not even that because all the classes end at 11 o'clock for the darn pep rally. Foul ball. Full count to Di Valerio. I have my plan for the pep rally because the juniors are supposed to wear white. So what I can do is, as a junior, I'll wear all black and I'll sit in the middle of the grandstands and it'll be a giant eyeball. There's a foul ball, almost hit Bobo in the on-deck circle. Didn't look like it scared the daylights out of her though. It seems like she's quite valiant in her practice. And that's what you just gotta do, gotta practice your craft. I still am at some point sometimes getting startled when a baseball like comes flying at me, even though I'm at a, behind a fence or something like that. So, yeah. So Spire moves up to third. The count is full to Di Valerio. Again, Bobo on deck, followed by Yukebo. Another foul ball. Audubon's been staying tough with these long at bats. Yukebo had a really long at bat, over 10 pitches, and now Di Valerio will be the second one of the game to have one reach close to that mark. Up and in, and Spire's coming to the plate. She scores 5-1. So a walk to Di Valerio, and she knew to get out of the way right away. So that now makes it 5-1 as Spire has scored on both opportunities. This brings up Emily Bobo. Strike one. I'm noticing that every time, even really without runners on base, the catcher, Jill Logren, here's a line drive to right. Caught. No, it is dropped. She trapped it, and going to third of DiValerio. The ball is just sitting in the infield, and it's a single for Bobo. So an offensive barrage continues for Audubon, and this brings up Allison Urqueba. Off to a hot start, 5-1 here in the bottom of the second inning. Even Audubon baseball only led by 1 after 2. But Audubon has brought themselves to a 5-run lead. They gave up 1 run in the first, and they took it personally. St. Joseph's Hamilton, when they brought their first run of the game, it was in the third, so Collingswood got started early. Bobo's gonna go to second. That was an interesting play.
They do that because
yeah, they look like
they'll
DiValerio.
think that they'll steal the home.
Oh,
but
yeah.
then baseball actually doesn't.
Well, I do it in MLB The Show.
Yeah, it's fucked up.
Yeah. The ball should be 2-0 to Urqueba. Upstairs. Now it's 3-0. Urqueba's ahead, and honestly, after hitting an RBI double that was mere feet from the fence, I would imagine a 3-0 count might be a blessing for Collingswood, if they would have to deal with Ava Griebel. And that's exactly what will happen. It's now coming to the plate is DiValerio, and she scores. Now the ball gets over the head of the starting pitcher for Collingswood, and now Audubon tacks on another 6-1. So Bobo now is on third base. No, Allison Urqueba is on first base. She walked, but now that there's a pitching visit with Collingswood, they're going to talk it over, and so will Urqueba and Bobo. Again, next broadcast of Audubon Green Wave Sports will be Thursday versus the Haddonfield Bulldogs. Pending the weather, it looks like it may be about a 70% chance of thunderstorms, but that is, again, pending Jersey weather, which is unpredictable at any given time. So just keep that in mind. Friday will be the first ever college baseball live stream in the history of Dan Wilkins Broadcasting. We're going to Rutgers Camden and covering Rutgers Newark, the Scarlet Raiders versus the Scarlet Raptors, 3:30 p.m. on Friday. There's a strike. Did not work.
Now it's Allison's not on first.
Allison's still at the plate. Okay, yeah, wild pitch it was. There we go. Okay. So now she's ran the count full. Yeah, I was confused by that, but I knew something was missing. It's like I think the track meet may have wrapped up, the track practice rather. Audubon won both the girls and boys track meet yesterday by a score of 74-66. Because there's 140 total points available across 16 events, you need 70 points to win. Scoring systems in those kind of sports never made sense to me. I just report on them. So there's a strike. Urqueba was down 3-0 in the count, but has now struck out looking, and that will mean that that's the second strikeout of the inning for Collingswood. As now here is here's a line shot foul off the top of the dugout and off of Liam Corbell's club car. May have grazed it a little bit. Bobo on third. She's the only runner that stands. DiValerio scored. Spire already scored. 2 runs this inning for the Green Wave. It's 1-1. If this inning were to continue after Griebel, Abby Toll would be the next to hit for the Green Wave. first three for the Panthers next time around will be at the top of the order: Randazzo, Gola, and Wright. As there is a strike, and it's 1-2. Swing and a miss. So a big rebound by Collingswood as Piper Wright strikes out 3, but allows 2 runs. We go to the top of the third, 6-1, Audubon. We'll be right back. Top of the third, in order for the Audubon Green Wave, Kylie Alkins and the rest of the infield, meeting with Emily Bobo on the mound. She has been a force today, striking out the last 5 hitters. Second and third outs of inning number 1, and then striking out the side in the second. As now Alexis Randazzo, the first to hit for the Panthers at the top of the third. Audubon leads by 5 as Amari Pimentel down the sidelines on the first base line, getting some photography in, taking some beautiful pictures. Audubon has some great photographers in the student body. You have Harry Green, who obviously is not a student, he's like 65 years old, but he takes a lot of pictures for softball teams. Janara Furness takes pictures for baseball. She does an amazing job. And then in the student body, you have Hunter Lowe, Amari Pimentel. I occasionally do photography, but not for Audubon, so I do it for more just freelance whenever I attend like a college baseball game. So that's going to be a foul ball, so Randazzo does not reach first, and it's a 2-strike count to the leadoff woman for Collingswood. Yeah, I guess the college season, I guess they're on break or something, because a lot of class of 22 guys are just playing a pickup game up there. Randazzo's down in strikes. This brings up goalie. As now 6 straight strikeouts for Emily Bobo. She did not have a single one going into the second out of the first inning, because it was a walk, a grounder to third, and then a single, and a strikeout, and then K, and 4 more after that. So total of 6 strikeouts. All of them have been in a row. I think it was one when we had our last softball game on Monday that we broadcasted. It was an absolute nightmare from the home plate umpire, because he took about 3 seconds to call whether it was a strike or a ball. I'm sure he said it aloud, but he didn't actually put up his fist with his arm to call a strike until maybe like 3 seconds after. Like he had to process it or something. It's 1-2.
It's also another thing I don't like him doing. First strike.
Right.
Just in baseball, just go to the
Frank.
side.
7 straight. And now here is Piper Wright. Yeah, this makes it really easy for the JV and the varsity team, because when the JV game is done, all they have to do is go from the minor league field to the major league field, and it's smooth sailing from there. How far do they have to go? 200 feet? Foul ball on the Sutphin lane. Luckily, I moved my car out of Sutphin lane, because that's where I usually park it on school days. It's 0-1. I know you're a Pine Street Parker. That one sailed over the head of Toll. I guess it was an appropriate day for Audubon High School to have their Jersey Shore Day on today, having such beautiful weather. 75 degrees. I mean, if there's ever a day to wear swim shorts and... Oh, jeez.
Okay. Well, I'll learn not to kick my camera when I'm flailing my legs around.
It's 2-1. Oh, what did that camera ever do to you? 2-1 is a strike. 2-2. She's an opportunity to strike out 8 in a row. She had 12 strikeouts on Monday and to lead to Barton College commit has a chance to make it 8. She's got it. They'll throw down to first, and it is in time. Alkins makes the play, and 8 straight strikeouts for Emily Bobo. What a performance she's had after giving up a run in the first. She has completely rebounded and has set the world on fire. We go to break, 6-1, Audubon. Back in the bottom of the third, and it is none other than Abby Toll hitting for the Green Wave, up by 5 against the Collingswood Panthers here on this beautiful Wednesday afternoon. You're watching coverage of Audubon Green Wave softball here on Dan Wilkins Broadcasting. If you have any questions or comments about today's broadcast, drop me a line at the THA Dan Wilkins WILKINS show SHOW at gmail.com. Any serious sponsorship inquiry, you should also go to that email because we do have a couple new sponsorship packages for this season. A $50 package for your small business or brand is a spoken word advertisement about 15 seconds long with your logo on screen, which I do have to implement sometime this week. A $100 advertisement is that plus a segment of the game that's named after your business. So home run replay, player of the game, pitching change, although that one was taken. Certain things like that can be used. But that will also mean increased ad exposure. So the $150 package means a 30-second commercial filmed on location with editing, filming, voiceovers, and post-production done by yours truly, myself, unless otherwise requested. So send us an email if you're interested in having your brand being advertised on a large stage, which is high school sports. First pitch to Angelina Eckert is a strike. Abby Toll grounded out to start the hitting. 0-2 to Eckert. Eckert and then Calhoun, followed by Canuso to round out the order. hot shot into left, or into right rather, base hit. She'll throw to first and is not in time. See, it's a lot easier to have those 9-3 putouts in softball than it is in baseball, especially with how quickly they're whipping the ball around. But and how, that is another thing to consider. But those hitters are so fast; they only have to travel 60 feet, so it works out beautifully. So a single for Eckert, her first of the game, and here is Abby Calhoun. She flew out to center field on a great catch by Kendall Justice in the first. 8 women came up to the plate in the first. 6 batted in the second. This could be Audubon's shortest inning if they don't get a couple more base runners on as a foul ball. Makes it 1-1. Keep in mind on Saturday at 11 a.m. Paul Sixth comes to town to face the Audubon Green Wave. Saturday matchup, Colonial versus Olympic conferences. Here's a bunt out towards first base and no play. Oh, no, never mind, foul. So Calhoun will go back. It's 1-2. Again, after this will be Alexa Canuso, followed by Emma Spire. He's 2 for 2 today with 2 singles. Has scored both times. They may be waiting for her to get to the plate to drive in some more and open this lead up a little wider. That one's upstairs. 2-2. New thing that's coming around here for the Green Wave. There's an LED scoreboard now in center field. Brand new for the Little League this year, but nobody on the softball team uses it. There's no scoreboard operator in center field, which, I mean, hey, you know, I'm like, you guys put in this brand new scoreboard. This, by the way, Calhoun struck out swinging for the second out. So now here's Alexa Canuso. But, you know, I said, I was like, you guys are going to pay this much money for a brand new scoreboard, and then the softball team, which brings in the most fans, you don't open the snack stand for softball games, which that's good. That would make you so much money. You don't have anybody in the press box to run the scoreboard, which is a great disservice to the fans that are, you know, that are sitting along the foul lines, and maybe the only way that they know the score is either in their heads keeping score, or like bugging the coaches in the dugout, or watching Dan Wilkins broadcasting. So it's like it's a dilemma where, you know, the softball program is so great, but it deserves so much better, especially on the production side of things. Here's a ground ball out to short. Throw to first is in time. Collingswood gets out of the jam for the first time today. Audubon is held scoreless. Go to the fourth, 6-1, Green Wave. Is in order as Emily Bobo is continuing an incredible streak as Jill Lejerna is that the play? Oh, I was wondering what was playing. I thought that there was like somebody was playing off the speaker. No, so here is Sherman. First pitch was a strike. Bobo has struck out the last 8 batters dating back to the second out of the first inning. There was a grounder to third, and that has been the only out that was not a swing and miss or a strikeout looking. Ball, 1-1. So Collingswood had 2 hits in the first off of Wright and Lozier, excuse me. And that's a hit by pitch, so that breaks the streak. But it still doesn't mean that there's a hit for the Panthers, but that's a plunker. We're starting the fourth with a hit by pitch, and this brings up Chloe Wright. Chloe Wright started the streak for Bobo with a strikeout in the first. At a .203 batting average in 2022, 13 for 64. 13 of her hits were singles. So that one is they're gonna throw behind the runner. I guess there's really no pickoff move in softball just because of the motion of everything, of how that just doesn't work. Like, really, no matter what, where Alkins is, she's kind of being blocked by the umpire right now, but with the foul ball. Like, the first baseman really never covers first with a runner on. In baseball, the first baseman always covers first when there's a runner on first, you know, just in case there's a pickoff throw. But in softball, you see where Alkins is. She is very far away from first base and, you know, up with her toes up on the grass. So it is an interesting observation. Little looper to right, and there is a base hit. Collingswood now has 2 runners aboard. That one falls in front of DiValerio, and now Bobo will have to work again, but this time with no outs. No support on that front, and this brings up Justice. Keep in mind that this is the second of 3 games to be broadcasted for Audubon Green Wave softball this year. The third and final will be, unfortunately, Wednesday, April 12th versus the Delran Bears in Delran with a 10 a.m. start time. So I'm sure for the folks that are watching that are at their 9 to 5 jobs, I mean, they'll be getting out shortly at 4:53, but, you know, if you want to tune in, give it some thought. 2-strike count to Kendall Justice. Emma McGee is due up for the Panthers, followed by Juliana Martinson. Outside. Swing and a miss. Make that 9 strikeouts for Bobo. Brings up McGee. That motorbike again. Here's a ground ball to your Kaba. Throw to third, gets the lead runner, throw to second. That will still hold up there. So they get the lead runner and runners remain on first and second. So that'll be a fielder's choice, and this brings up Juliana Martinson, who struck out in her first appearance in the second. Pop up first base side, caught by Canuso at second. Inning over. We go to the bottom of the fourth. 6-1. Bottom of the fourth. Green Wave did not score in third. It was a ground out, a single, a strikeout, and another ground out. As the first batter is Emma Spire, 2 for 2 today. She scored on both attempts. Also has had multiple stolen bases in the 2 games that we've broadcasted. There is a strikeout. Like I said, with Spire being a freshman, already a starter on the women's basketball team. Amazing athlete. And is down 2-1.
Well, being a freshman on a varsity team, we don't have any freshies on our varsity team in baseball, so.
No, not right now. We don't. No. There's a fly ball. A foul off the green netting. I think all of the freshmen are JV. There's really no varsity freshmen. Which I don't know if that worries me about the future going past 2025, or because I feel like the 2025 class will be huge when it comes to development for the younger generations.
Yeah, but at one point, college is bringing in that freshmen on a varsity team.
Yeah, I mean Xavier Massey and Isaiah Pinckney haven't gotten as much playing time as people would have thought. Here's a ground ball right back to the mound. For first is in time, and Spire is retired for the first time today. The batting average has got to be sky high at this point. Here is Adriana Di Valerio. Hustle and bustle at the ballpark. Collingswood and Audubon. If you're just joining us, it's the bottom of the fourth. There's one away. Here at the Audubon Little League Complex as Valerio takes a ball upstairs. It is 1-0. A lot of great things going on around here. I mean, on a beautiful Wednesday afternoon, people have not forgotten that the outdoors exist. It's going to be an infield no?
Foul ball.
Foul ball, looks like. So hard to tell with the angle, especially considering that we're a lot closer to the field. Like, I can't see the third base line just because it's so... I think where we line up is a little bit more towards right center. That's also partially because of the limitations of where the 4-foot fence is compared to where the 6-foot fence is out in the outfield. There was a point in time where I was originally going to broadcast games from dead center field. Here's a ground ball out towards third. Throw to first is in time. Great sensitivity and alertness from Collingswood. They've gotten 2 straight outs. The Valerio's retired on a 5-3, and here's Emily Bobo. Seems like Collingswood let the wheels fall off the rails early, but they have now recovered pretty well. It's inside to Bobo, goes to the backstop, picked up. 1-0. This inning were to continue, Allison Urcabo will be the next hit for the Green Wave. Line shot out to second. Throw to first is in time, and the side is retired. On 3 straight ground outs, the Green Wave go down in order. We go to the 5th. 6-1 Audubon. Going to the top of the 5th, there's our photographer, Amari Pimentel, out there. And also out in the outfield is, let's see if we can turn our camera around. There's Harry Green with a much larger lens, let's say. But beautiful afternoon to take in some softball. Change at first base for the Green Wave. No longer Kylie Alkins. It is now, if I can take out my lineup without it blowing away this time, will be Elena Cesanin. So Cesanin at first, and now this brings up Hoover, Carly Hoover, to face Bobo. Strike one. Bobo with 9 strikeouts. There's a point in the game where she struck out 8 in a row, but it was broken by a hit by pitch and a single. She got 2 strikeouts in the first, all 3 in the second and third, and then 1 in the fourth. Time is called. Strike 3. 10 Ks, back-to-back games with double-digit strikeouts for Emily Bobo. Now back to the top of the order. Here's Alexis Randazzo. Walked in her first time, struck out in her second. She's batted in the first, third, and fifth, so up and odd as there's a strike. JV game still going on back there. That JV field is considerably shorter. There's a strike. Considerably shorter than the varsity field. Close call. Allison's up on the grass. So is Susanna at first base. Swing and a miss. 11 for Bobo. What a night. It's back to back. Second time Randazzo has struck out, and here's Gola. Grounded out in her first time, struck out in her second. Collingswood would fall to 0-2 if they lost today. Again, 6-1 ball game here in the top of the 5th. Going pretty quickly. Yes, here's a bunt. That might be the way to get him, but it is in time at first, and the side is retired. 2 Ks and a bunt that doesn't go. Brings us to the bottom of the 5th. 6-1 Audubon. Bottom of the fifth inning, as Allison Urqueba will be the first to hit for the Green Wave. They're up 6-1. They caught fire early, but now the smoke is rising from the pit as they have not scored since the second. They put home 4 runs in the first, and then 2 in the second, but nothing more as they've kind of hit a snag. But the first pitch is a strike to Urqueba. 0-1. Ball inside. Tough call there, but still goes. Here's a hot shot to right, and it's gone. Home run, Allison Urqueba, her first of the year. Dom Hugo get that softball. It's 7-1. That got out of here in a hurry. An absolute bullet off the bat of Urqueba, and it's 7-1. So the leadoff batter of the fifth ends up delivering a homer, and this brings up Griebel. Beautiful home run ball.
That's what a kickback on too.
Yeah. Cleared the fence with no problem in the first home run of her senior campaign. Allison Urqueba already was a hot start to the game versus Gloucester. Here's a first pitch ground ball by Bobo. It's in time. Or rather, that is Griebel, excuse me. Here's Toll. So 1 away. Here's a first pitch rocket off of third base and into left. A base hit, she's going to second. And she's out. So Toll is retired. And now with some infielders on the grass, here is Angelina Eckert. 7-1 Green Wave. Allison Urqueba led off the inning with a home run to right center. Upstairs, 1-0. Upstairs again, 2-0. Leaning back a little bit is Eckert, but strike is called. It's 2-1. Rounder foul. 2-2. With 2 outs, if this inning were to continue, we'll be having Calhoun due up with a Green Wave. First 3 in the top of the 6th. Yes, top of the 6th for Collingswood would be right, Lozier, Piper right, I guess that must have gotten to his truck, yeah. Baseball practice has got to be still going on at this point. Here's a ground ball back to the mound, no problem, and great reaction time by Piper Wright as we go to the top of the 6th. 5 down, 2 to go here at Audubon. 7-1 Green Wave. Top of the 6th, Emily Bobo is on a roll as the first pitch is a bunt back to the mound. She's going to pick it up through the first. Is in time. No, dropped at first by Griebel, who is now the first baseman, and that will be an E3. So now, oh, second baseman. Oh, right. No, you're right. That would be an E4, yeah, because she covered the bag. I was confused as to why Ava Griebel was the first baseman, but she was moving over from second to make the play because, Elena Serzanin was really far up there on the infield grass, didn't have time to get to the bag on the ground ball back to the mound. So 1-0 to Lozier. 0-1, excuse me. That one's upstairs, thrown back behind the runner. Nothing going there. Serzanin applying the tag. So you're trying to get my attention, you're just hitting a bug. 2 strikes for Lozier. Foul back to the screen. Up next would be Chloe Wright, Kendall Justice, and Emma McGee. Here's a fly ball to left. Down the line, and it is off the wall. And foul. I think the wind really carried that one. So Wright will return to first, and it's a 1-2 count.
Very weird left side of the field.
Yeah, it's
kind of
because of the alleyway.
Yeah.
So it's only 182 down the left field line. There's a swing and a miss. Baker's dozen. Emily Bobo back-to-back starts with 12 strikeouts. What a performance by Emily Bobo, continuing to be dominant on the mound. This is why she's committed to a university for this. I mean, keep in mind, it's not like being committed to college for a baseball pitcher, because baseball pitchers, you can find them anywhere. But in softball, when you only have 2 anchoring pitchers on a ball club, being committed to that kind of college means that she's going to get some excellent playing time right off the bat. First pitch to Chloe Wright is outside. I didn't say, did I say Bakersfield? Okay, well, excuse me. Well, you should know you work at a place that sells bread rolls, so down low. Yeah, you should know that more than me. Check swings. That's a strike. 2-1. Right down Broadway. Hot shot. Out to second. Griebel throws to first. And it is in time. Moving up to second is Piper Wright. So Wright moves up to second, and the first pitch is a strike to Kendall Justice. And it is 0-1. Strike. Looks like the JV game has ended behind us. If this inning were to continue, Emma McGee will be the next to hit. She did not make contact, but she's going to get down to first on a drop third strike. So it will still count as a strikeout for Bobo, and now that makes it a baker's dozen with 13. But again, because it was a drop third strike, no out is recorded, and now Justice is on first, and Wright is on third to bring up McGee. Yeah, it seemed like Toll didn't really know where the ball was, and didn't take care of that. Down low, throw down a second. Nope, gonna hold up. And now that puts both runners in scoring position for the Panthers. Popped up. That one's headed for Chestnut. Man, somebody's fender.
Tired.
It's an older car. I'm sure they can buff it out.
I always thought if a softball is this or if someone has very slippy hands, if you hit the car, does the school pay for that, or does that come out of your insurance?
I imagine it comes out of your insurance. Some of the outfield thought that was strike 3, but it is strike 2 to McGee. 14 strikeouts for Bobo if she can record this one right here. Brianna Martinson on deck for Collingswood. Popped up again on the Chestnut.
Baseball insurance.
Yes.
That's what we're calling baseball or softball.
Well, we're playing softball.
All right, softball insurance. Softball insurance.
Well, remember
Would you
that.
add softball insurance to your plan?
Yes.
No, I do not live by any softball field.
Here's a
Are you
ground
sure?
ball into center field. Base hit. Here comes the throw to the plate. It is past Toll. Going to third and holding up at second is McGee. Now she starts again. Goes to third and she's safe there. 2-run double that turned into a triple for McGee. And it's now 7-3. Audubon over Collingswood. The ball shot right through the middle, and McGee just did not stop. It scored both runners. So Wright scores, Justice scores, and now Bobo in a bit of adversity. 7-3. Again, a 2-run triple for Emma McGee. 7-3 Audubon here in the top of the 6th. JV Audubon won their game 16-0. So this game is a bit closer than that, but I think the worst blowout I ever saw was, I'm trying to think. There were a couple games that I saw that were pretty bad. The Ralph Shaw tournament last year was 22-0. King's Christian lost to Bishop Eustace. Bishop Eustace scored 13 runs in the first inning. And the first inning itself was actually 45 minutes long. And I was, man, the problem is, and this may be a bit TMI, but I had to take a leak for like the entire inning. And the pitching change wasn't long enough. So I was just kind of sitting there, and I'm just like thinking to myself, and I'm like, man, here's a 1-1. Like, I was just completely out of my element. But, yeah. I think the other worst blowout I saw was a sectionals game. Section 4. Popped up first base side. Wow. Just out of the reach of Grable. But, yeah, it was a game between the Cherry Hill American and the Mountie from Hawks. Cherry Hill won that game. It was in West Deptford, 23-2. And we were having a great time with the scorekeepers up there. There's another foul ball. But we had a great time with the scorekeepers up there, and the player of the game was Melissa's Banana Bread. she made homemade banana bread and brought it in to the ballpark. Or no, it was zucchini bread. That's what it was, zucchini bread. And oh my gosh, it was so good. But the game was just such a farce for two travel ball teams in a senior league that was very obviously just like kind of for fun. Very obvious that, you know, it was just kind of a farce of a game. It was so bad. It was down there. It was tied 2-2 after one, but after that it just got so far out of hand that I really had nothing to talk about. It's like that Audubon West Deptford game went 12 innings, had nothing to talk about. The count is full to Juliana Martinson for the Panthers. That is now I guess the count is 3-2. I guess I had it messed up.
I did too.
It's hard to tell. Softball is a lot harder to keep balls and strikes because of the ambiguity of it all. Here's a fly ball out to right center. Caught by Spire. Inning over. Collingswood gets 2 on the board, but that's all she wrote. We go to the bottom of the 6th, 7-3 Audubon. Bottom of the 6th, Piper Wright still wheeling and dealing for the Collingswood Panthers, as seems like no matter what the score is, unless it's hardly bad, then it seems like the pitcher's just staying in, you know, one-man band. So Wright now in a 6th inning of work, entering the 6th inning of work. Second pitch rather, to Allison Urqueba, who had a home run. Excuse me, Abby Calhoun. I was reading off the last thing. Abby Calhoun, who's 0 for 2, flew out to center, and struck out in her 2 appearances. Hopped up, 1 away. Excuse me, that is number 20, who is Riley Urqueba, the younger sister of Allison Urqueba, and now this will bring up Elena Susanna. I always forget her name. Had a meeting on the mound. And also at home plate. So Rick Pence talking to the home plate umpire. Maybe making a switch here. Neither pitcher was substituted on Monday, so I'm not sure if they're going to do that again. But now Aaron Small is coming out, the Audubon head coach. She will meet Pence and the home plate umpire. Now the whole Collingswood infield is surrounded.
aware Elena was coming in?
What's that?
Maybe they weren't aware of that.
I don't think they were aware that Elena Susanna was coming in, so maybe that might have been what happened. I'm not sure. Yeah, I would imagine this would only be the reason why both head coaches are out there, because there was a lineup dispute or something in the batting order wasn't right, because your Caba substituted for Calhoun, so this would technically be Alexa Canuso. But I think the issue stands in that the flex hitter for Audubon is Kylie Alkins, not Elena Susanna. So
He's playing first and has to have at least one.
yeah, well, no, Kylie didn't have an at-bat. No, Kylie did not have an at-bat on Monday. So now I think everything has been resolved. Whatever confusion was going on, that has been solved. And now Elena Susanna in the ball game, bottom of the sixth.
Still running?
Yeah, now Pence is back out again. And he's got his hands up. I mean,
He's not happy, to say the least.
I don't think he's happy that Alana is batting, because it probably should be either Canuso or Kylie Alkins. And we're going to have another delay as he brings out his lineup card again. I mean, this is a confusing situation, but I think what's going on is that they're confused about the order here.
But
Well, now Rick Pence is talking to, or he was talking to somebody in the stands who I think was keeping score. Yeah, probably whoever's keeping the book for Collingswood. So the at-bat will continue, and I think Pence may have given up his argument and
That's
it's a hit
it,
by
all
pitch.
that for her.
So all that for a hit by pitch on Elena Susanna. And she gets a board now to bring up Emma Spire back to the top of the order. So hopefully whatever that was resolved. So I guess that now means
Elena is pinch hitting for
Alexa Canuso, yeah.
But as long as she's on a lineup card, she can play.
Yeah, here's a ground ball. Going to be taken at second on assisted and no throw to first. Spire beats it out with no contest. And a fielder's choice. So Spire gets a board, and now that is the... No, that's the... Hold up. Yes, that is the second out of the inning. I just didn't score it first time. So now here's Adriana Di Valerio. Little slap hit out towards Sutton Lane. Almost hit somebody out there. Had to do a whole matrix move. Oh, he's walking his dog. Oh, don't hit the doggy. Don't hit. That's the cardinal sin of softball. Don't hit a dog. It was a ground ball foul. He had to like matrix that to get out of the way. It was behind the green netting, so my camera wouldn't have picked it up as well. I mean, you can kind of see through it a little bit, not that great though. So. 2-strike count. Throw down a second is not in time. So Spire again swipes second. That'll be a ball to Di Valerio. A bunt back to the mound. Through to first is past the first baseman. Rolling over is DiValerio, scoring is Spire, and an RBI bunt single for DiValerio now puts Audubon with a bit more healthy of a cushion. It's 8-3. So the only runner that stands is on first, DiValerio. And where is the confusion now? Okay, so Bobo just needed a minute to get ready. First pitch in the dirt. That one goes to the backstop. Going to second is DiValerio with no contest.
That's a ball.
It's a ball. After this would be your Kaba, and she walks. So Bobo, just with 2 at bats, she's 1 for 2 with 2 walks and a triple. And this brings up Allison Urqueba with a double in the first and a home run in the fourth, a strikeout in the second. And now here comes Rick Pence, and I believe we will have our first pitching change that I've seen in a softball game this year, or no. You would imagine in an 8-3 game that there will be some sort of pitching change, but there was a Collingswood arm warming up in the bullpen not too long ago, but it seems to have been left behind. So 2 on, 2 out, and Allison Urqueba could blow this game wide open with a homer, which she did in the 5th with her first of her senior campaign. And watch out, Chestnut. Collingswood's outfielders so far backed up, they're almost in front of the fence. They're probably only like 10 or 15 feet out from the fence. Except for the left fielder, mostly because Allison does push the ball a little more. Going down to third is DiValerio. She is safe, and the ball gets away but stays in bounds. So she advances. So does Bobo.
Sad to say, I honestly do want to go to work.
Ground ball. Pass the shortstop into left center. And it will roll. Picked up by Justice. Throw to the plate. This is going to bring home both DiValerio and Bobo. 10-3. Double digits for Audubon. So Audubon has now put up 2 more in the 6th inning, a total of 3 runs total, and it's 10-3 Audubon. Now brings up Ava Griebel. So your Kaba now 3 hits, 3 for 4. First pitch is a strike. Time called. I don't know. Your Kaba was saying something to the home plate umpire, or the base umpire. I think she was maybe frustrated about something, or it looked like she was frustrated about something not being called, but the base umpire called time. From her knees, she makes the throw at first, and the side is retired. Audubon's 3 outs away from going 3-0 on the young season. We go to the top of the 7th, 10-3 Green Wave, here on Dan Wilkins Broadcasting. We'll be right back after this. Emily Bobo looking for her second complete game of 2023. She has been an absolute force. 1 run was allowed in the first and nothing further until the 6th inning, where she ran into some trouble on an error, a strikeout, a ground out, which had 2 outs in the inning, but then a drop third strike, a 2-run triple, and that is how the game was 7-3. But Audubon clapped back in the bottom of the sixth, with 3 runs of their own. So now the game is still a 7-run lead for the Green Wave, going to the top of the 7th. On the home stretch, as the swing and a miss by Carly Hoover. It's at 0-1. Bobo with 12, 13, hold up. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Yes, so she's looking for 14 strikeouts. Count is 1-1. Upstairs. Stride 2. Ground ball, third base side, foul. Swing and a miss. 14 strikeouts, Emily Bobo. If you combine Mondays and today's, that would give her 26 strikeouts in just 2 games. I mean, that's incredible. That is absolutely maniacal. Just, I cannot believe I'm saying that. 26 Ks in 2 games would be for a total of 14 innings. It's over 2 strikeouts per inning. First pitch is a swing and a miss to Randazzo. What would it have been? 1.9 Ks per inning. Not per game, per inning. Stairs, 1-1. 2. Still keeping it hot. Keep in mind, tomorrow Audubon plays Haddonfield in baseball. It'll be streamed on Dan Wilkins Broadcasting, maybe tape delayed, depending on how the internet treats us. In the dirt, count runs full. Collingswood's not going to go down without a fight, I'll tell you that. Strikeout to start the inning, but now full count to Randazzo. Malangolia due up for the Panthers. Swing and a miss. 15 strikeouts. Emily Bobo across 7 innings. 6 2/3 rather now, but holy goodness. There's a strike to Golia with Collingswood down to their last out, excuse me. But what puts it in even greater terms is that if you combine all of the strikeouts Bobo's had and then look at the ones at the outs that weren't strikeouts, there were only 6 outs during the entire game that were not a swing and miss or a strikeout looking. Here we go. Emily Bobo, 0-2 count, and a ground ball to second base, and the throw by Marone is in time, and that will do it. The Green Wave win this one soundly and improve their record to 3-0. In all 3 of their matchups this season, they have won by 4 or more runs. 5-1 over St. Joe's on Monday, 6-2 over Gloucester yesterday, and today is a very, very comforting 10-3 win over the Collingswood Panthers. What a game, what a season so far for the Green Wave as Allison Urqueba gets her first home run of the year, and Emily Bobo strikes out 15, making it 27 strikeouts across 2 games and 14 innings. Almost, like I said, 2 strikeouts per inning. Only 7 batters all game were retired by anything other than a strikeout. From everybody here at Dan Wilkins Broadcasting, they'll talk it over, and we'll have ourselves a good night ahead. We'll live stream again tomorrow, pending the weather, as Haddonfield will play and host Audubon in baseball tomorrow at 4 o'clock. And remember, on Friday will be Rutgers Newark and Rutgers Camden. Oh, that's great. Well, again, folks, Haddonfield tomorrow, Rutgers Newark and Rutgers Camden, our first ever college baseball live stream on Friday at 3:30, and then Paul Six and Audubon on Saturday at 11 a.m. From everybody here at Dan Wilkins Broadcasting, our producer Dom Perry, and everybody on our graphics crew, including Caleb Lane and Gavin Van Rel, we'll see y'all next time, Thursday, 4 o'clock, pending the weather and the internet service. I'm Dan Wilkins. Good night, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow.